absolutely ridiculous. Who's the next person? I'm going to ad-lib now. Who's the next person he's going to promote into the cabinet?
Jim Davidson clashes with David Lammy live on air. Viewers left shocked. You're not going to believe what just happened. During a live broadcast that was supposed to be about policy, debate, and reasoned discussion, Jim Davidson and David Lammy went head-to-head, and what unfolded had viewers rewinding the clip again and again. This wasn't just a sharp exchange of words. This was the kind of clash that leaves the audience stunned, wondering whether they had just witnessed a debate or a demolition. Lammy, one of Labour's most prominent figures, was pressed on Britain's mounting debt and the government's direction. Davidson, never one to mince his words, seized the moment. And within seconds, the conversation spiraled into a fiery confrontation that people are still talking about tonight. Let's break this down. The topic started calmly questions about the UK's spending priorities, the pressure on taxpayers, and the promise of stability that Labour insists it will deliver. Lammy began with his usual confident tone, painting a picture of responsibility and long-term vision. But Davidson wasn't buying it. With his trademark bluntness, he cut in, calling out what he described as excuses that no one outside Westminster believes anymore. He pushed harder. He said the UK's credibility was at stake, that ministers were failing to match words with action, and that Lammy, in particular, had become the face of promises that keep crumbling under pressure. And here's the moment that lit up social media. Davidson leaned forward and said, "You keep on embarrassing the UK every time you dodge the facts." The silence that followed was heavy. Lammy tried to fire back, insisting that critics like Davidson thrive on drama, not solutions. But the damage was done. Viewers had already clipped the line, shared it, and spread it across every corner of Twitter and TikTok. One political journalist summed it up on Sky News. Davidson hit Lammy where it hurts, not on policy detail, but on perception. That's what sticks with the public. One viewer tweeted, "I don't always agree with Davidson, but he spoke the truth. Lammy dodges too much." Another fired back, "This is just theatrics. Davidson is an entertainer, not an economist." But perhaps the most telling response came from within Labour circles themselves. An insider reportedly told a local paper, "Lammy's biggest challenge isn't the Conservatives, it's moments like this, when he looks cornered and rattled in front of ordinary people." Now, let's add some context. David Lammy has built his brand on being outspoken, unapologetic, and forceful in defending Labour's agenda. But that style, which rallies supporters, also makes him a lightning rod for critics. And Davidson, though known primarily as a comedian and cultural commentator, he's increasingly leaned into political commentary. When he goes head-to-head with a figure like Lammy, it's not just a clash of arguments, it's a clash of worlds. The polished political insider versus the blunt outsider. That contrast and the rawness of it playing out live is why this moment exploded across social media so quickly. It also raises bigger questions. If Labour wants to project discipline, confidence, and credibility, can they afford moments where one of their most high-profile ministers looks rattled by a non-politician? Or does it feed into the growing sense that Britain's leadership, no matter who holds power, is out of touch with real anger on the ground? Because let's be honest, for many ordinary people, Davidson's words struck a nerve. Debt is rising. Bills are rising. Public trust falling. So when Davidson said Lammy was embarrassing the UK, millions of viewers may not have agreed with the tone, but they understood the frustration. Meanwhile, Conservative voices wasted no time capitalizing. One MP tweeted, "Davidson said what many in Parliament think but won't say. Lammy can't take criticism without looking flustered." Labour allies rushed to defend him, insisting Davidson's attack was unfair and opportunistic. But even their defense couldn't erase the viral clip already doing the rounds online. This isn't the first time Lammy has faced difficult live confrontations. From heated exchanges on migration, to tense debates about policing, to now this, the Justice Secretary seems to attract controversy wherever he goes. Some see it as proof of his passion. Others see it as a weakness and inability to control the narrative when under pressure. And that duality is what makes him such a fascinating and polarizing figure. So, where does this leave things? For Lammy, it's another clip he'll have to answer for. For Davidson, it's another viral moment that cements his role as a thorn in the side of political elites. But for the country, it's another reminder of just how fragile the image of competent leadership can be when challenged live in front of millions. Because the line that Davidson delivered, "You keep on embarrassing the UK," may have been harsh, but it now echoes louder than any carefully crafted Labour talking point from that interview. And so the question remains. If this is how Britain's future leaders handle criticism now, what happens when the pressure multiplies? What happens when the stakes aren't just political theatre but real crises, with real consequences for millions of people? One thing's for sure, after tonight, David Lammy won't just be answering questions about debt and policy. He'll be answering questions about why Jim Davidson's words landed so hard and why so many people agreed.